Oh, jullie gaan nou bootvervuiling snappen? Kom.
In 1977, we made the first plans for an overland tour through Africa. 37 years later, the dream became reality. We spent 4 years on the road, traveling through 5 continents. Our journey came to a sudden stop in Southeast Asia due to Corona. We have hit the road again, but nobody knows where and when our voyage will end. In the previous episode, we stayed in the compound of a monastery in central Phnom Penh, Cambodia. We attended the ordination of a novice monk, got a tour of the monastery and visited various sites of Phnom Penh. Today we go to Silk Island. That's an island near Phnom Penh. It's about 12 kilometers from here to the ferry, and that's a place where still a lot of silk weaving, but also the process to make the thread can be seen. We rented 2 bicycles and now we are on our way on the Silk Island. Around the island we see people dressed up for a festival making music. It looks like a Chinese festival. Hello. As we see different dragons. Monks are going around to collect food for the day. The quiet rural island is a world apart from the hustle and bustle of Phnom Penh. In various places we see looms where silk clothes are made. Margriet shows how she is weaving herself on a centuries-old loom.
That is the one that built we bring for Matalong, we bring for that. For that.
4 days.
One day.
What can she do in 4 days?
Yes. One skirt for Matalong.
Skirt.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
We visit the silk farm where we can see all the phases of making silk. Female silk moths lay anything from around 300 to 500 eggs at any one time. These eggs eventually hatch to form silkworms, which are incubated in a controlled environment until they hatch into larvae. The silkworms feed continuously on a huge amount of mulberry leaves to encourage growth. It takes around 6 weeks to grow to their full potential of around 8 centimeters. At this time, they'll stop eating and begin to raise their heads. That's when they are ready to spin their cocoon. Attached to a secure frame or tree, the silkworm will begin spinning its silk cocoon by rotating its body in a figure-8 movement around 300,000 times. A process which takes around 3 to 8 days. Each silkworm produces just one single strand of silk, which measures about 100 meters long and is held together by a type of natural gum called sericin. Once the silkworms have spun their cocoon, they will eventually enclose themselves inside it, and then it's time to extract the silk thread. Each thread is then carefully reeled from the cocoon in individual long threads, which are then wound on a reel. Some of the sericin may still remain on the threads to protect the fibers during processing, but it is usually washed out with soap and boiling water. The cocoons are placed into boiling water in order to soften and dissolve the gum that is holding the cocoon together. This is a crucial step in the silk production process, as it ensures that there is no damage to the continuity of each thread. When the silk threads have been washed and degummed, they will be bleached and dried before the dyeing process commences.
This is not silk, it's wool. So.
Sailing the ship is more like a side job for students. But we arrive safely. We are in the rainy season, and in practice that means many afternoons with alternating showers and drizzle for a few hours. We therefore do little after we return from the island. When it dries up by the end of the afternoon, we go out to buy some food for dinner. When we leave the monastery, we see the monks dressing up and rows of cleaned orange robes for the last time. We replenish supplies and then leave for the north. It is a difficult drive through a densely populated area, but with a nice view of the rice fields between the towns. The road is being worked on throughout the entire route, with one lane closed at all times. Because local traffic often uses the closed lane, we wonder a few times whether we are wrong way driving. About 80 kilometers north of Phnom Penh, the Mekong widens to a lake, and I'm now climbing a hill that should give a good view over the lake. So I've almost reached the top, and here are even some stairs, and indeed it gives a nice view over the countryside, and of course a Buddha image. We check how to get to the stilted village that we intend to visit tomorrow. We spent the night in a quiet square near a temple. A man is making ornaments. Girls and boys, including very young monks, take arithmetic lessons. Fish. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, fishes. After school, the girls and boys feed the fish and enjoy themselves near the pond. It becomes evident why we were recommended to put the car next to the covered area. In the next episode, we visit a village with houses on stilts and drive to Siem Reap, the base camp for Angkor Wat.